Yeah, definitely tomorrow we're going to have the heat and humidity minus the thunderstorms in the morning. Let's go through the temperatures and then we'll get to the storms too. But tomorrow's temperature is more confident. You're going to see 90 south of I-90. It gets a little bit less confident going further north just because we have cloud cover, and how long that clouds linger in the afternoon may keep the temperatures down. As you see, 87 Eau Claire, but as you go to Rusk County, only 81, so not really hot or as hot up there, more just humid. So once again, it's going to be a different story as you go further south too. That's where the sun's going to definitely come out in the afternoon. We're going to have a good period of that, allowing those temperatures to get up into the 90s too. Now, as we go towards the feel-like temperatures or the heat and see, as you know, we are going to get up into the 90s fairly quick, but notice down to the south, they could be approaching 100 as we get towards noon, but then in the afternoon, that's when that 100 to 105 range really is basically centered along across and south or east, maybe more 90 to 95 as you go closer to Eau Claire, given the cloud covers. If it pans out, if we get more sun, it'll be a different story. Even during the evening hour, thunderstorms will probably not be yet impacting areas south of Eau Claire quite yet, so that's why we still got heating seas around 100. Once we get past 7 or 8, it gets a little bit uncertain when these thunderstorms come through. Still hot and humid south of the thunderstorms, so that's what we expect with the heat and see. Won't be an issue as we go into Thursday. Now, heat headlines right now, it does go up to Eau Claire, but we'll see if that actually gets trimmed a little depending on what goes on in the morning. Once again, the worst conditions will be along and south of La Crosse, where you could get close to 105 at times during the afternoon and the evening hour. So the good news is once we go on Thursday, we're going to have a lot more cloud cover. The humidity will still be there. The front's going to be kind of sagging south throughout the day. As you see, some of these temperatures still get into the mid-70s further south, but as you go even further north, we're looking at just low to mid-80s. Lots of clouds, maybe some sun. Precipitation-wise, it's a little bit too uncertain, but I think overall we're going to have less of that activity going on later on Thursday too. For the morning, this activity right now probably is not a lot reaching the ground, but there's still an opportunity to see a few showers for the next couple hours along and southwest of La Crosse. Then it's this complex that lifts north, and right now it has pushing it close to La Crosse, I-90, a little bit less activity as you go further north. So should be a wet commute for some areas. It could actually be some heavier rainfall if this continues to circulate around the area through 7 and 8. West of the river, it actually gets a little bit drier once we get past 7 or 8. And then areas south of I-90 pretty much are going to be dry once we get about 11 a.m.-ish and everywhere else. North of it, we could still see some activity persist through about noon. And further north you go, you might see activity persist through 1 or 2 in the afternoon hour too. As you note right there, there's even more activity developing along this front as it pushes north. South of it, different story. You're going to start heating up very quickly towards the afternoon with the sun out. Then it becomes a question of when that boundary starts coming through in the evening hour. And right now, a little bit of activity 3 to 4 to 5 p.m. for Eau Claire. It starts sinking further south overnight, and then it somewhat stalls over some area as we go through 10, 11 p.m. right now along I-90 further east, with thunderstorms continuing. Then they'll continue to persist, but kind of back off as we go towards Thursday morning, at least the intensity of it too. So it could be another wet morning for Thursday, just depending on things go out. The good news is once we get through Thursday, things look good. Severe risks, we're going to have to watch that line as it sinks south. It could have damaging winds if it continues to hold together, but it does tend to weaken as we get closer to night. So something to keep in mind for Thursday evening. We'll have to deal with that. Not too much going on for Thursday. That's good news. And precipitation, there could be a few areas that get quite a bit depending on where this line forms. Otherwise, Friday's quiet. Saturday, we're warming up. A return to some heat and humidity as we go Sunday, with another front coming through Monday and Tuesday. But then look at next Wednesday if you really want some great temperatures, in my opinion. 81, and that looks like could be a stretch of 4 to 5 days where we actually are below average for a little bit too.
Yeah.
So that looks refreshing. But in the meantime, yeah, it's going to be you're going to be sweating it out for a few days.
Yeah, a little rough.
Yeah, sweating out or getting drenched, one of the two.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Greg.